Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the channel.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Rabi al-Awwal has arrived, and perhaps you have already noticed how this month feels different. You may hear more reminders about the Messenger of Allah. You may see people speaking about the Seerah, sending blessings upon the Prophet, and remembering the life that changed the course of human history. But before we fill this month with words, posts, videos, and emotions, there is something much more important we should do. We should pause. We should become quiet for a moment and look honestly at ourselves. Because there is a question that cannot be answered by a social media post, a beautiful speech, or even an emotional moment. It can only be answered by the condition of your heart and the direction of your life. Rabi al-Awwal is here, but has your heart changed? Perhaps you have heard the story of the Prophet many times. You know about his patience, his honesty, his devotion to Allah, his concern for people, his struggles, and the sacrifices he made while carrying the message of Islam. But there is a difference between knowing someone's story and allowing that story to change you. We can know many things without becoming different people. We can listen to reminders every week and still struggle with the same anger. We can read about worship and still neglect our own prayers. We can talk about faith and still allow our private life to move farther away from Allah. Knowledge is precious, but knowledge becomes truly meaningful when it produces action. So perhaps this Rabi al-Awwal should not only be a time to learn more. Perhaps it should be a time to ask ourselves what we are actually doing with what we already know. Think about your life as it is today. If someone looked at your daily routine, would they see a person who is moving closer to Allah? Not perfect, not free from mistakes, just moving closer. Is your salah becoming more important to you? Are you becoming more careful about what you watch and listen to? Are you becoming more honest in your dealings? Are you becoming less controlled by anger? Are you becoming more grateful for what Allah has given you? Are you becoming more aware that your time is limited? These questions are not meant to make you feel hopeless. They are meant to wake the heart before another month, another year, and another chapter of life passes us by. One of the greatest dangers of life is becoming comfortable with knowing that we need to change while never actually changing. We say, I know, I need to pray better. We say, I know, I need to stop this habit. We say, I know I should spend less time on things that bring me no benefit. We say, I know I should treat my family better. We say, I know I should return to the Quran. And then we continue exactly as before. We become experts at making promises to our future selves. We tell ourselves that someday we will become more disciplined. Someday we will become closer to Allah. Someday we will leave the sin. Someday we will repair the relationship. Someday we will become the person we want to be. But life does not promise us a someday. The only moment we actually possess is the moment Allah has placed in front of us now. That is why Rabi al-Awwal can become a personal checkpoint. Not a performance for other people, but an honest conversation with yourself. Ask yourself, what has changed since the last Rabi al-Awwal? Has your relationship with Allah become stronger, weaker, or simply stayed the same? Have you become more responsible with your time? Have you become more grateful? Have you learned to control your reactions? Have you become more careful about hurting people? Have you become more serious about the purpose of your life? If the answer is uncomfortable, do not run away from it. An uncomfortable truth can be the beginning of beautiful change. The person who recognizes a weakness can work on it. The person who refuses to recognize it will continue carrying it. And perhaps the first thing that needs to change is the way we understand success. The world constantly tells us that success means having more, more money, more followers, more attention, better clothes, better cars, a better house, more achievements, more recognition. But Islam teaches us to look beyond what disappears. What is the value of gaining everything people can see while losing the peace of your heart? What is the value of becoming successful in the eyes of people while becoming distant from Allah? What is the value of being admired by thousands if your private relationship with your Creator is neglected? Rabi al-Awwal gives us an opportunity to remember a life centered not on worldly fame, but on obedience to Allah and responsibility toward humanity. Look at the way modern life consumes our attention. We wake up and reach for our phones. We move from one notification to another. We watch one short video, then another, then another. Hours disappear without us realizing it. We say we are too busy for the Quran, too tired for reflection, too distracted for meaningful worship. Yet somehow we find time for endless scrolling. This does not mean technology is always bad. The problem is when something that was supposed to be a tool becomes the master of our attention. Ask yourself honestly, who controls your time? Do you control your phone? Or does your phone control you? If this month is going to change your heart, perhaps one of the first changes should be learning to protect your attention. There is something else we need to protect: our inner world. You may look calm while carrying thoughts that nobody knows about. You may smile in public while struggling with sadness, disappointment, anger, jealousy, or regret. You may have made mistakes that you still remember years later. You may think you are too far gone to become better. But never confuse your past with your destiny. You have made mistakes, but you are not required to repeat them. You have fallen, but you are not required to remain on the ground. You have been distant, but you can return. Allah knows every hidden struggle, every private regret, and every sincere attempt to become better. Sometimes we imagine that returning to Allah requires a dramatic transformation overnight. It does not have to begin that way. It can begin with one prayer you protect today, one page of Quran you read today, one sin you refuse today, one apology you finally make today, one moment when you control your anger instead of allowing anger to control you, one act of kindness that nobody knows about, one decision to stop speaking badly about someone, one sincere dua before you sleep. These actions may appear small to the world, but the direction of your life can change through small decisions repeated consistently. And perhaps your heart has become tired because you are constantly comparing yourself with others. You see people who seem to have everything you want, and you begin to question your own life. Someone else gets married while you are still waiting. Someone else graduates while you are struggling. Someone else becomes financially successful while you are trying to survive. Someone else seems surrounded by friends while you feel alone. But you are looking at a small part of their story and comparing it with the entire story you know about yourself. You do not know what Allah is protecting you from. You do not know what lessons are being prepared through your delay. You do not know what is happening behind someone else's smile. Your responsibility is not to live someone else's life. Your responsibility is to live yours faithfully. A changed heart also learns to appreciate blessings before they disappear. Think about the things you use every day without thanking Allah properly. Your eyesight, your ability to breathe, your family, a place to sleep, food on your table, the ability to walk, the opportunity to pray, the fact that you woke up this morning. We often recognize blessings only after losing them. Perhaps this Rabi al-Awwal, train your heart to notice what it usually ignores. Before complaining about what you do not have, name 3 things Allah has already given you. Gratitude does not mean pretending life is easy. It means refusing to become blind to the mercy that already surrounds you. And what about the people around you? A heart that is changing should affect relationships. Look at how you speak to your parents. Look at how you treat your siblings. Look at how you respond when someone makes a mistake. Look at how you behave toward people who cannot benefit you. Look at the way you treat workers, strangers, classmates, neighbors, and people who have less than you. Character is not only displayed when people important to you are watching. Your treatment of people who have nothing to offer you can reveal something very real about your heart. Perhaps there is someone you have reduced to one mistake. You remember what they did, and every time you think about them, you remember the worst moment. But people are more complicated than their worst day. This does not mean you must trust everyone or allow harmful behavior to continue. Wisdom requires boundaries. But boundaries and hatred are not the same thing. You can protect yourself without poisoning your own heart. You can walk away without wishing evil upon someone. You can refuse to repeat their mistake without spending your entire life consumed by it. There may also be something inside you that you need to admit. You have been waiting for people to change while refusing to change yourself. You want your family to speak more gently, but you speak harshly. You want your friends to respect you, but you disrespect them. You want people to forgive your mistakes, but you hold theirs against them. You want others to understand you, but you do not listen to them. We often ask for qualities from people that we are not willing to develop ourselves. A powerful question to ask this month is not, why doesn't everyone treat me better? But, am I becoming the kind of person I want others to be? There is also the issue of sincerity. Sometimes even good actions can become connected to our desire for approval. We want people to know that we pray. We want people to see that we give charity. We want people to notice our Islamic posts. We want compliments for being religious. But the heart needs moments that belong only to Allah. Do something good that nobody knows about. Make a dua when nobody is listening. Give something without telling anyone. Help someone without recording it. Cry before Allah without needing an audience. These private moments can teach the heart that worship is not a performance. If you are struggling with a private sin, do not wait until you become perfect before returning to Allah. Return while you are struggling. Make tawbah when you fall. Then take practical steps to protect yourself from falling again. If a certain environment repeatedly pulls you towards sin, change the environment. If certain accounts fill your mind with temptation, remove them. If certain conversations weaken your faith, reduce them. If being alone at certain times makes you vulnerable, change your routine. Tawbah is not simply feeling bad. It is turning back and taking steps toward a different direction. Maybe your biggest problem is not a major sin. Maybe it is neglect. You are not openly doing something terrible, but you have slowly become careless. Salah becomes rushed. Quran becomes occasional. Dua becomes rare. Your heart becomes attached to entertainment more than remembrance. You still call yourself a Muslim, but your daily life does not give your faith enough space. This kind of gradual distance can be dangerous precisely because it does not feel dramatic. Nothing suddenly breaks. You simply drift. And that is why we need moments of reflection that pull us back before distance becomes normal. Rabi al-Awwal can be one of those moments. Let it remind you that your life has a purpose. You were not created merely to wake up, work, earn, eat, scroll, sleep, repeat, and eventually disappear from the world. Your days are moving toward an appointment that none of us can postpone. Every sunrise is one less sunrise in this life. Every birthday is not only another year added. It is another year removed from the time we have left. We do not know how many Rabi al-Awwal months we will see. We do not know whether we will be here for the next one. That thought should not make us hopeless. It should make us intentional. So if you want this Rabi al-Awwal to be different, do not make a list of 20 impossible goals. Choose a few meaningful changes and take them seriously. Protect your prayers. Reconnect with the Quran. Learn the Seerah from reliable sources. Reduce something that wastes your time. Repair one relationship where possible. Stop one habit that harms your heart. Begin one private act of worship. And most importantly, make your intention for Allah. You do not need to announce your transformation to anyone. Imagine reaching the end of this month and realizing that something inside you is genuinely different. Perhaps you are not perfect. You still make mistakes. You still struggle. But you respond differently. You pray when you previously delayed. You remain silent when you previously argued. You forgive when you previously held a grudge. You close the screen when you previously continued watching. You choose honesty when lying would have been easier. You remember Allah when you previously forgot Him. That is real progress, not perfection. Direction. And do not underestimate the power of returning after failure. Some people make one mistake and then decide they are hypocrites, failures, or hopeless. They stop trying because they cannot become perfect immediately. But growth is often a struggle. You may fall and rise. You may succeed one day and struggle the next. The important thing is not to make peace with your weakness. Keep fighting it. Keep asking Allah for help. Keep returning. Keep learning. Keep trying. A believer should never allow a difficult past to become an excuse for a hopeless future. There is another beautiful change that can happen. When the heart becomes more aware of Allah, you begin to worry less about being seen by people. You realize that not every misunderstanding needs an explanation. Not every criticism requires a response. Not every insult deserves your energy. Not every person needs to approve of you. Your worth is not determined by comments, followers, popularity, or public opinion. When your heart becomes attached to Allah, you can live with greater peace because you know that the one who truly matters knows the reality of your intentions and your efforts. So when you hear the name of the Prophet during this month, let it do more than produce an emotional reaction. Let it remind you to examine your life. Let it remind you that Islam is not only something we talk about, it is something we live. Let it push you toward better choices. Let it encourage you to become more truthful, more responsible, more disciplined, more merciful, more patient, and more conscious of Allah. And when you make a mistake, do not say, I have failed, so there is no point. Say, I need to return. The journey back to Allah can begin at any moment. Before this video ends, I want you to do something simple. Do not immediately scroll to another video. Give yourself 60 seconds. Put your phone down. Take a breath. Ask yourself honestly, if my life continues exactly as it is today, will I be happy with the direction I am taking? If the answer is no, then do not wait for another month. Choose one thing and change it today, not tomorrow. Today, if you have been delaying Salah, start protecting it. If you have been neglecting the Quran, open it. If you have hurt someone, apologize if appropriate. If you are carrying unnecessary hatred, ask Allah to clean your heart. If you have been trapped in a sin, take one serious step away from it. If you have been distant from Allah, turn back. Because one day, every month we once welcomed will become a memory. One day, the opportunities we thought would always be available will no longer be available. One day, we will wish for more time to do the things we kept postponing. So do not let this Rabi al-Awwal become another beautiful month that passed without changing you. Let it become the month when you stopped making excuses. The month when you became honest with yourself. The month when you decided that your faith would not remain only in your words. The month when you took one sincere step toward Allah and continued walking. Rabi al-Awwal has arrived. The question is not simply whether we remember the Prophet. The question is whether remembering him encourages us to become better servants of Allah. The question is not how emotional we become for a moment. The question is what remains when the emotion disappears. The question is not what we post. The question is what we practice when nobody is watching. And the question is not whether we want change. The question is whether we are willing to begin. May Allah give us hearts that recognize the truth and respond to it. May He forgive our mistakes, strengthen our faith, protect us from sins that weaken our hearts, and guide us toward what pleases Him. May Allah increase our love for His Messenger Muhammad and help us learn from his life with sincerity, wisdom, and understanding. May He bless our families, protect our homes, grant us beneficial knowledge, and make our actions better than our words. May He allow this Rabi al-Awwal to become a genuine turning point for us. Not because people noticed us, but because Allah knew that we sincerely tried to return to Him. And when this month passes, may we be able to look back and say, I was not perfect, but I changed. I took a step. I came closer to Allah. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.